Hello and welcome back to the IPControl and Sapphire evaluation series. I thought I would start a series of videos on the Sapphire appliance, walk through some of the features, and specifically start off with enabling the APIs, and then going through some of the API examples in the Swagger interface and getting access to it. And then I'll stop that video, and then I'll start another video, and we'll walk through some of the other menu series. So I think there's enough here to cover a few minutes, and we'll come back and cover the larger portion of it in another configuration. So first, you'll need to log into your, I say let's start with one of the DNS DHCP systems. So I'm going to go into the 10.10.03 on my case, log in as app admin, and under the configuration, and this is services, you'll find number 4, Sapphire REST API service, and it should be off by default. So the first thing is we would enable it to boot when it starts. Number 2 is we'll go to the protocol, which will use HTTP3. It will use all of that. So 443 is fine. And the API keys is where you're going to define the key and the permission of that key in terms of what it can do. So we'll do one here. I'm going to do, let's say this is agent 1 key. Lifetime, I'm going to give this 3, I'm going to give it 1 year, and then we'll force it to come back and change that after that. The capabilities, I'm going to do admin so that I can do everything here. But you can go in and maybe change these and set your levels accordingly. And then you can generate the key on screen. It'll generate it to file. And you can also, of course, paste one in. So I'm going to generate it to screen, which would be fine. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. All right, and I'm going to save that over here so we can use this here in a minute. But also wanted to point out too that if you're in the system, when you generate it out to file, once you generate the scheme, you have to go back and get that there. Let's see if no. All right. So we've got the key. Now, if we had sent it out to file, it would have created a file out here. So let's do one more here just to double check that and make sure. Let's do one, and let's do agent 1 read only. Oh, so there you go. Can't be more than 10 characters. Or, 2, we're going to give this 3 years. 3, we'll do get only. And let's do 5, generate out to file. Okay, and this is what I wanted to show here. So if we were to go look at this file, it should show us out here. So this is the file now. So if you keep this out there, you got to be careful. But this in a read-only is okay. This is an admin, so you may not want to write it out to file. Just copy it and go from there. So now we have a key, and what we need to do is then go back into our system, and let's verify that we can get to this. And here we'll go to HTTP 10.10.0.3 443. And there's probably going to be, we'll need to start this. So let's go down to the status. So now once we have that enabled, we need to go back to the management now. And we're going to go to services. And we'll find our REST service 10. And let's go ahead and start it. Okay, And there we are. So now that the service has started, just like with what we had with IPControl, we now have IP REST APIs for the appliance specifically. Now I'm going to go ahead and do two things here. I need to save that because I didn't save it. And say this is admin agent one key. All right, and I'm just going to go over here to this key, and I'm going to grab all of it, and I'm going to use it for my gets because I'm not going to do anything else really here. So now what we should be able to do with this information, and let's just go down to the system where it's of interest, I guess, in terms of the processes, maybe system information and some others. You can then try it out. You paste your key, execute. I don't think I have a whole lot going on there, but now when we get this output here, you'll get your status code, of course, and then you'll get the status of what the model looks like. So here we have all of the details about this particular agent, its VMware, its license as it terms, its serial number that's auto-generated, and then it goes down into the various builds. So you can see how it's initiated. You can see what the Sapphire build is, 16048 for the operating system, and then the various DNS, DHCP services. So that's one good example. So if you were doing this remotely, you could be able to go out and get a system information detail of all the things running out in that information. Now you could also do this with, say, your processes. And this might be something you want to set up a custom process monitor that says, well, out on these particular services, I want to verify these are all running. Here's the PID, here's the service, and then if anything's null, etc., you can then check those. So that's a really, really brief introduction to the APIs and enabling it. And this would then give you the ability to go do all of these particular functions. Now, this one here is always of interest to me because I always have to deal with this in scale, and I deal with hundreds of different devices. So this to me is very interesting to run, and having this set up that I can go out and pull these serial numbers and quickly get to it, is very interesting. And having a script or something to be able to do all of this and concatenate all the data together would also be very interesting, as you get to this in a larger scale. And that's kind of how we manage some of these through APIs and polling process and pulling these details, which the status dashboard gives you when you take a look at that through IPControl. So that's going to be our first video on the Sapphire, and I'm going to come back now in a couple other menus and just kind of walk through a general overview of the Sapphire appliance, its particular menus, and we'll go through some of those details there. Thanks again for joining, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.